Okay, in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to properly take apart your MX5 hydraulic lash adjusters. So initially I had a couple of knocking on startup of the engine, took all these apart. It says on all the videos that these are the ones that cause it basically by pressing the button on the bottom. You can tell if they're good or bad because the button won't push in on the bottom. These have already been pre-cleaned. This video is going to go a little bit further than most on the internet because I found after following various videos that mine still didn't operate. So you get long nose pliers, pull out the central plunger, and then the second pad comes apart. Then basically you end up then with the 4 pieces like that. They went through a parts washer, they've come back out, and they were still, it still wasn't operating at all. So this is where it goes a little bit further. So you go to the little piston at the bottom, pull the cap off, go very carefully. There's a little ball bearing, and inside of there is a little spring. Let's try and get that out if you'd show you. And there we go. So we have a cap, a little spring there, ball bearing, and what I was finding when I took it apart, the inside of this cap was basically all gooed up really badly. The spring was stuck in, the ball bearing was stuck in. Like I said, I've already pre-cleaned these. So it's gone through a parts washer, everything's all nice and clean. And now it will operate when it goes back together. What you want to do is when I put it through the parts washer, like the little hole up in the top of the lash adjustment, make sure it's clear. Just push sewing needle or something like that through the centre of it. That will get it working well. And then with these, just give them a wash. Go very careful with these springs because these springs are bloody pains. If you lose that little spring, then everything's gone. You've got to buy new lash adjusters. So as I've already cleaned these, you put the spring back inside the centre of the cap, ball bearing, then sits on top. Then you're left with this bottom plunger, and there's a little hole inside the plunger as well there. So you need to make sure that plunger hole is clear. Then there's a basically a ridge through the lash adjuster. So the bit to the widest part is the bit that loads up with a bearing first. There's a tiny little hole in the top, and that's where the bearing's going to sit, in there. Like I said, go very carefully not to lose the spring or the bearing. That just pushes down in there, you hear it click. And here we go then, so we put the big spring on top, the little plunger. This has all been cleaned. Like I said, when it came out of the part washer, it was horrible. There's like strands of grease and everything coming out from it. It was horrible, real smelly, probably just as bad as hydraulic fluid. And what you do then is you put the little cap on top. Straight away you can see that it's now operating properly. Get your cap, put your back inside, and it'll click. And as you can see, and here it's now working perfectly. So what you do now to bleed it, I've got some engine oil. You have the little hole facing up, and you submerge it in the oil, and the oil's facing up. And you can hear it loading up. This is how you bleed it. Just keep doing this until all, there you go, you can hear the tone changing. Just keep doing that until all the air's out. Then away you go. You're all bled, ready to go. And you now have one there you go, the tone's changed. You now have one hydraulic lifter that's now gone from being scrapped to perfectly serviceable. Hope this helps somebody.